You did good, man.
What's going on, man?
Absolutely nothing. How you been, man?
I've been doing good.
That's what I wanted to hear. That's awesome.
Laying it down like usual.
Pardon me, man. I'm sorry I didn't just eat, so I will be doing that a lot. I'm sorry. For anybody watching, that the cough button's not a thing. Sorry.
I, we're live.
We're live.
That's why I'm doing this. I had dinner.
Yeah, I had ribs for dinner.
Yes.
We're on right now. I don't believe you.
God, that's bull crap.
I don't believe you. You're on the air. I'm on right now. I don't believe you. One of the 10,000 hilarious lines in that movie that I always forget how funny they are till I watch it again.
It's one of those good ones that just keeps getting better every time I see it.
I give you one that my brother and I were talking about as far as a line that I had completely forgotten it, and so had he.
Mm-hmm.
But it's at the end of Zoolander, after he rescues the Prime Minister of Malaysia, and he's sitting there having a conversation with him, and I'm assuming that Malaysian is the language in Malaysia. I don't know, but I'm assuming it is. But he, of course, Zoolander, this moron, knows Malaysian, and it's all good. But it gets to the end where he thanks him, and he's all like, "You're welcome, Mr. Prime Rib of Propecia." That's so stupid. But I'd completely forgotten it. Like, Mr. Prime Rib of Propecia cracked us up, man. I'd completely forgotten that.
Man, I did get out and do some movie watching because I'm a sucker for the dang old Marvel movies, and I had to go check it out. Man, I saw the Doctor Strange, and it's after initial viewing. I mean, it gets one of those reviews that I think's the best compliment you can give it is like, man, you ought to go see it. Just don't. Yeah. I don't want to tell you anything. You just need to go see it. Probably one of the neatest things about this trip to the dang old movie show is I am still the guy that has to walk the aisle or however your movie theater is set up, and I love to look at a movie poster more than a trailer.
Yeah, I'm the same way, brother.
I get more ramped up for what's coming by seeing that, and I had no idea. And one of the podcasts I started listening to recently it's called Watch It. It's Watch It with Matt and Gwyneth, and they despise might be pushing it. I think they hate anything that's Blumhouse or Studio A24.
Yeah.
And I had no idea this was coming, and I'm fairly certain this is A24, but they're doing a remake of the Firestarter.
Ooh, okay.
And it looks like the same movie box from back in the day with Drew Barrymore going Firestarter on that ass, and it made me want to go home and watch the trailer. And watching the trailer, I was like, man, that looks like a even badder ass version of Firestarter, and Firestarter was bad enough. It was.
That's really cool. I'm glad to hear that, man, because I'm on the complete other side of the coin where, honest to God, if A24 makes it, I'll watch it. It's stupid, but I've never seen anything, and I haven't seen a lot of stuff. It's just that everything I've seen from that studio has just knocked me out. So I'm like, yes, but I'm with you. I hadn't even heard they were doing that. That's really cool.
It was one of those kind of deals when I saw the poster, I was kind of, maybe I heard that was happening, but I thought it's kind of like when I saw there's a trailer for the Daniel Radcliffe Weird Al Yankovic show. I thought this was a joke. I didn't think it was actually going to happen, and they're really doing it. Well, now I'm into it.
Yeah, that's cool.
Long and short of Doctor Strange is one of the neat things, and one of the reasons why I try to go into a lot of these movies as blind as possible is I did hear some of the stuff that was coming out. It leaked from the movie. And when I hear the leak, like, well, I got to go watch the trailer now, because they had the first trailer where you heard the voice, and you're like, oh, they're doing it. And then this trailer that dropped right before the movie, they flat out told you, yes, Professor X is in it. Professor X is in it in the hovercraft from the cartoon. So I was like, well, now I got to go see the trailer. And my thing Because with all the stuff that leaked from the movie getting out, it's like, how do they keep all this other stuff from getting out? And it's one of those deals where I just and even when watching the trailer, one of the reasons why I tried not to watch it now is there are a lot of misdirects in the trailers, and they tried to put those misdirects in there to kind of throw you off a little bit. There were a few things in the trailers that wasn't in that movie, and there was story wise, it felt like the storyline was going to be more of the unfolding of the stuff that got screwed up in the last Spider-Man movie, and these events of the multiverse were based off that. That's not the case at all. And and so that being said, and it was a Sam Raimi directed movie, I was like going in, geared up, ready to see this. I just thought it could have been a lot more multiversy than what they did. I would have been tempted to throw in anything and everything from all the shows and anything, and it wasn't that. I'd heard rumors about what was going to be in it, and none of it was. I mean, we didn't get a Lou Ferrigno as a Hulk sitting there as they're flying through one of the dimensions or whatever they choose to call it. I would have been tempted to do that if it was me directing it, but that's why they didn't give me that job. And honestly, it was a far more straight up linear story than I was expecting to. I thought it was going to be all kind of not really knowing what's happening at this point in time, or if this universe is real or what's going on. It was
more like an episode of Moon Knight.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I shouldn't say that. I've only seen the first one, but
yeah,
I don't think we discussed it. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to change the subject. I'll make this real quick. It was everything I had heard about how great it was, and then I finally watched it, and it blew my doors off. But it sounds like I'm with you. It was like when I saw that, I'm like, that's exactly what I would expect Doctor Strange to be. So that's interesting that it was more like, no, this is the track. That's cool.
And I think that's kind of one of the reasons why I thought, well, no, we don't need to do that because they're going to do plenty of that in the Moon Knight show. And I just finished up watching Moon Knight like the night before I go out to see that. And I'm thinking maybe they're going to throw in a Moon Knight cameo or something like that. And that you didn't get any of that. But I didn't think that would be the case. But
at least not in the one that you saw. I'm wondering. I think it'd be awesome if they clued all of us. What if they made like 4 cuts of the movie and sent them to different parts of the world? That would be absolutely fantastic.
There's probably gonna be some super duper director's cut come out that would have all the stuff you want like that in there. This is what could have happened, or that kind of thing.
Seriously,
but man,
Spider-Verse.
And honestly, I think it's straight up. It's one of those kind of things. It's like you're sitting there waiting in line. I just want to show my phone so I can scan my ticket. And again, I don't want to talk to anybody. Don't want to hear anything because you're hearing the guys behind the counter like, oh, I put it in my top 10 Marvel movies. Like instantly, like, oh yeah, you're a groundbreaker. Thanks, bro. Just letting you in. So, but that's how I'm about all of them, man. I go see them like, man, I dig it. Keep on keeping them home, man.
All the Marvel stuff I've seen, I'm just basing this off of, or piggybacking on what you just said. Of all the ones I've seen, which ain't all of them, but the one there's never been one I didn't enjoy. I'm just 100% with you. It's like I've never seen one that I didn't like, at least in some way. Now there's a few, we've talked about. There's several that I just straight up love, but I at least like all of them, man. Enjoyed my time. Very cool.
The only Marvel of what I consider the Marvel movies is anything the Fox stuff. Don't count all those. Haven't seen all those. Don't want to see them. But anything that's been released under the Marvel Studios banners, starting with Iron Man, I've the only one I haven't seen in the movie theater was The Eternals. Checked it out on Disney Plus. Watched it, and I thought it was fine. if any of them that needed to be a TV show, it was that, just because it's way too many characters and way too many things going on that you're like, I just don't think this is for me. But at the same time, it was good. I'm not sitting here calling it bad. I'm saying that's a big mark to hit, and just didn't grab me.
Yeah, I can dig that. That's cool. But nah, you don't sound like you're tripping on it or nothing, man. Just explaining.
And my deal with Moon Knight is Moon Knight was just one of those characters. I was like, he looked cool.
Yeah.
Didn't know nearly as much about him as some people did, and watched the show. And it's one of those shows that in the middle of it, I think it was after episode 3, I did one of those things. I sent out a message to some friends like, "Will somebody please explain to me what's happening?" And nobody could.
Moon Knight.
Because that's probably the best thing about it is there's so many times you're kind of like, I sit down, watched it, and have a clue what's going on, but it's still fun.
Yeah, totally. It's like I have no idea what's happening. Don't mind. Moon Knight is very much the Marvel version for me of Dr. Fate in a very particular way. And that particular way is exactly what you just said. There are characters that I recognize when I see them just because I think the character design is so awesome. I don't know hardly anything about them at all. So I totally understand where you're coming from, man. I remember when we were in high school that Stephen Platt got the pencil for Moon Knight, and it just looked amazing. It was so cool looking. I think I read those issues maybe once or twice. I don't remember anything that happened in them, but they looked good as hell. So it was like, oh my God. But yeah, I say it all the time, that the character design for Spider-Gwen, I don't know anything about that character, but I love the way that character looks. I mean, that is a cool looking superhero. Moon Knight's the exact same way. It's like, God dang, that is awesome looking.
And part of my interest in the show from the get-go is you have an actor like Oscar Isaacson.
Yes, sir.
And I honestly, I can't say this with 100% certainty, but I believe he's one of those actors like who would you want to play? It's like that dude, because he's producer credited on the show and all that stuff.
That's a good point.
I got a feeling that when you hire somebody like that and they care about it, and it's like, I knew the whole going in about multiple personality disorder, and that's about all I knew. And they really try to confuse you with that in the show. What's really happening here?
Yeah.
Is this being done to him, or is he doing it to somebody else, or is it something completely different?
Or are we just batshitting over here?
Yeah. Tell me what's happening.
Tell me. I've seen 3 episodes of this now. I don't know what the hell's going on.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. But hell if I know what's going on.
Yep.
It's just but that's cool, and that's a good point that you make, where perhaps it's the reason that, I don't know, maybe the orchestration wouldn't surprise me if it's all like, let's put a bunch of previews out for Multiverse of Madness, make everyone think that, well, Moon Knight's crazy, this is going to be wild, and then go in a totally different direction. That's kind of cool.
Yeah. And if there's any vindication that comes from watching the Doctor Strange Madness multiverse movie is I was just one of those people that after WandaVision, and there was this kissing Wanda's ass about, she's so great. It's like, y'all, how is she not the bad guy in this story? And then you're not 15 minutes into Doctor Strange, you're like, see, I told y'all she was the bad guy, but you didn't listen. You didn't listen. That's as spoilerish as I'll get with Doctor Strange, because it's pretty obvious.
Brother. Anybody that likes the archives and goes back and watches the old shows, and anyone we've had this conversation many times, the Marvel Cinematic Universe with Wanda, like I said, man, everybody was very interested in Thanos' logic and how it made sense. What he was trying to do made sense. I'm like, if you like justified villains, wait till you see where we're going here, because that's what I've wanted him to do the whole time. It's not Doctor Strange versus Wanda. It's the 616 versus Wanda. I want her to fight all of them. Basically, you leave us in a spot where she won't win, but you might kind of wish she had. It's weird, but
Mhm.
that's what I hope that's what they're going to do.
Mhm.
Because Wanda, honest to God, maybe even more so than her old man, is like the greatest heroine villain character ever. She is unbelievably good as whichever one you make her. It's
Mhm.
so cool. And as we've talked about before, one of the great success stories I think of the Marvel universe, of the cinematic universe, is they do such a good job of character consistency. Like we've talked about before, as a fan, you don't need them to do the same stuff they did in the book. You just need the stuff they do in the movies to make sense with the person that you read about. And they have done that with
Mhm.
everyone. They have done
Yeah.
such a good job with that with everyone. So it's like, I think they've done a really good job of building up a Wanda that could go one way or the other. And all of us that are fans are going to go with her. It don't matter. And I think
Yeah.
some people that maybe are ambivalent at the moment, they can go along. They'll want to go for the ride too. I love it. I think that's super cool. So, but yeah, I'm totally with you. Where it's like, yeah, man. And like I said, I thought everybody during WandaVision, and I loved WandaVision,
Mhm.
but I thought everybody took Agatha all along the complete wrong way. I never ever thought it was just, oh man, it's Agatha doing everything. No, it
Mhm.
wasn't. She couldn't do it. She explained to you it's chaos magic. She has no idea how to do that. They're telling
Mhm.
you Agatha Harkness has been in the series the whole time. Not that she created the world and blackmailed Wanda. No, no, no. You're right. Wanda was the bad guy in WandaVision,
Mhm.
man, because
Yeah.
I need to watch that again. I keep hoping they'll release DVDs of it. I know that's so stupid. It's just, why don't you just turn Disney on for a month? It's cheaper, but
I just, man, I'm just getting that feeling. I thought that was going to be the case
me
with,
too.
but as long as Mandalorian season one has been out and there's no DVDs of it, I just don't think it's going to happen.
I think you're right because, man, that was a white hot iron. If you were going to strike while it was hot,
Mhm.
that makes total sense. I think you're right, man, because WandaVision was a big deal. Mandalorian was huge. So I think you're
Yeah.
totally right. And
Yeah,
I
man.
can dig it, man. If the production costs are too ridiculous to make back, then hey, you've already got the content, and it's not hard to turn on Disney Plus. And there's lots of stuff I need to watch. So,
Oh man, there's a crap ton of stuff that, and end of this month Obi Wan starts.
yeah, oh God, I saw that. I didn't see the preview, but I saw a little a preview for the preview. I didn't watch it
Mhm.
yet, but it's just like, oh my God, it's
Yeah,
good to see.
man.
I love you and McGregor so much. It's nice to see him again, man.
Yeah, man. I'm looking forward to that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and when it comes to the Disney Plus Star Wars shows, man, it's the best thing going of anything that's come out. And Book of Boba Fett. I don't know if we got into it on here or not, but I dug the crap out of that. And it was basically Book of Boba Fett for 3 episodes, and it became Mandalorian season 3. But I was like, hey, Mando's showing up. I'm down.
I'm good with this. I'm totally good with this.
I figured it was going to get there anyway.
Yeah. Well, I'm getting like really out of control with like my backlog of stuff I need to watch. I need to turn Hulu on and watch The Great because it's ridiculous. I've
Mhm.
got gift cards for that. What am I doing? Why have I not done that yet? But I got the Lakers behind me. I haven't watched that yet. I need to do that.
Mhm.
And speaking of which, man, some kind and wonderful soul has taken to uploading old HBO sports documentaries onto YouTube, man, and they just
All right.
apparently they don't care because they're just all sitting there, and I'm like, this is awesome, man, because some of
They
that
got some
stuff
good
is,
stuff.
yes, sir, some of that stuff is real good. So I'm like, ooh, I like this. I'm excited.
Yeah, man,
Pardon
that's
me.
good.
If you're interested, I got another story about a YouTube upload. Now, I
Oh,
don't mean to like completely change the subject, but that's what
oh
will
man,
happen.
that's all good.
Awesome, man. Let me tell you something. We were talking about our opinions of Wanda and how we feel about her. How I'm glad that this is the way they're going. But something else, a long time opinion that we've talked about many times on a lot of these shows. If you're a long time viewer, you'll know this is true, and if not, welcome to the show. And
Mhm.
here's something you should know about us. We are professional wrestling fans.
Oh yes.
This as soon as AEW became like a zygote and this idea of a company, we talked about it. You can't do what Vince can't do. You can only do what he won't do. You can offer health insurance, and you can cross promote. And the entire point of me saying that crap out loud was the hope that one day we would have a match between FTR and the Briscoe brothers. And it happened. And some wonderful soul uploaded it to YouTube, so I finally got to see it.
I
Have you
heard it was
seen it?
awesome. I heard it was the
Oh
best
my,
thing Mania weekend. I haven't.
oh my God. I mean, I've been waiting on this for 2017 was probably my peak interest in like NXT and Ring of Honor, New Japan, all that stuff. 2017 was just, I had so much fun that year. Like oh, they're over there. I thought they were on camera. I was discussing this the other day that the pop vinyls of the Young Bucks are among my favorite like wrestling memorabilia because of pop vinyls were hot at the time. Bullet Club was hot at the time. It's such a perfect encapsulation of how much fun, especially that summer, was. So I love those. But I've been building it up in my head since before it could even happen. And then it was going to happen. And I should have bought the pay-per-view. I'm a jerk that I didn't. But Ring of Honor, I think, still does do DVDs. So I'll give them money for that. It is absolutely amazing. They killed it. They just killed it, man. And it was fun. I listened to Corny and last review. And it's pretty much what you expect. The one thing that frustrated me a little bit, and I appreciate it because Corny kind of gets him on it. It's all like Brian Last doing that thing where I don't keep up with Ring of Honor, but I'm watching the pay-per-view and I mean, J. Mark Briscoe, these guys are stars, man. They're just stars. And instantly Cornet's like, I've been telling you that for 15 years. And it's like, he's right. He has. Because Jim Cornette knew the Briscoes were, they're just, it's unbelievable how talented those four guys are. Because I know you and I have talked about it before, too. I understand that Dax is a lot of people's guy. And Dax is kind of the leader. He's the leader of FTR. He's the Paul McCartney of FTR. And I love him. I love Dax. But I know that you and I know that I'm a Cash guy, and I know that you appreciate and dig Cash. It's like, that kid is unbelievable. It's crazy how talented all four of those guys are. I couldn't believe it. I watched it, and then I watched it again, and the second time, I just couldn't believe how much more I enjoyed it. It was wild. I loved it. I've been waiting for it for so long, and then it has come. It's stupid, but honestly, it's like going to Paris, man. I've wanted to do that my whole life, and then I finally did, and it was even better than I could have even imagined. In a very different way, this match, I've been waiting on it for years, man, and they did it, and it's like, I knew I loved you guys, and my expectations were high, but they absolutely crushed all of them. It's fantastic. And as far as I know, Ring of Honor's left it alone. I think it's still up there. If you want to check it out, man, it's still out there. Like, God, it's amazing.
I have to do that.
It's amazing. I'm really, really happy. And I'm also quite happy that Cash and Dax are Ring of Honor champions. That's just neat. Speaking of which, have you seen on AEW that anytime they defend any of the Ring of Honor championships, Bobby Cruz gets the call? I love that because Bobby Cruz as a ring announcer is out of this world. So I'm very happy to see him getting that nice check and getting the exposure. And it's cool. Riccaboni was on last week for the, Samoa Joe defended the TV title against, I'm sorry, y'all, Trent Beretta. And Riccaboni was doing commentary, and I love that kid. So I'm like, this is just awesome. I'm super happy about all of the, what's going on with Ring of Honor and that it's still a thing. And that, Jay Lethal and Samoa Joe are apparently going to kill each other. I'm like, that's awesome, man. I just think that's cool that apparently that was Tony Khan's ultimate Ring of Honor what if. Like, man, how come we never finished that rivalry? So, you know what? I'll buy the company and I'll do it. It's like, okay, cool, man.
All right, man.
Yeah.
I'll make sure it happens. I'm down with that.
It's going to be the way that I said it was going to be because I ain't got the book. It's dope, man. I was so happy. It was just ridiculous. Excuse me.
Man.
Yeah. So that was that. Sorry, the segue seemed to pop up there with like YouTube uploads, and it's like, yeah, I got to throw that out there. That was one of the two things that I have to talk about.
Cool. Yeah, that's all good. That's pretty much all I've been doing is just watching movies and bull mess.
It's a good thing to be doing is watching movies, man. It's been a minute since I watched anything like new. I mean, that I haven't seen before. I got, obviously I'm still soccer obsessed because I'm playing Winning 11 all the time. And for some reason it popped in my head. I hadn't seen Class 92 in a while. The one about the 6 kids from Manchester United that was such a big deal. And that is an awesome I love that movie. It's great because the coolest thing about it is there's just scenes in this one very particular location where honestly it's just the six of them. They're just having dinner, man. It's like an episode of Party of Three, but it's Party of Six. And they're just sitting there having a glass of wine, eating dinner, and just shooting conversations. And if you follow soccer, all six of these guys are unbelievably famous. If you don't follow soccer, one of these six guys is David Beckham. He is so blindingly famous that it does not matter who the other five guys are. You know who he is. But the part about it that's so cool is that all these dudes have known each other since they were 11 or 12. And Gary and Phil Neville have literally known each other their entire lives because they're brothers. But when you watch Bex interact with those guys, man, he's such a normal dude. And they just, it doesn't matter. It's really cool. I don't know how anybody that famous could stay that grounded, but it's real cool to see, like, this guy is a fashion icon. He's a soccer icon. He's doing pretty well in business because his soccer team is dead. How does he do this? It's cool. It's a cool movie. I love that movie. And then there's a guy, a Frenchman, who used to play for Man United. His name's Eric Cantona, and all of us worship Eric Cantona because he was the god level player. When Fergie got us back to like just thumping everybody every year, Cantona was the man. He was stylish and just regal, and he's awesome. And he played with all of them when they were like literal kids. I mean, he was in the first team when they first started coming up, and he's on telling stories about them, and it's just cool because you get to see Eric. Then there's Zinedine Zidane, who is God, who is literally God. Sorry, I need to clack that. And was a teammate of Beckham when he went to Madrid. And he's just on telling this story, and it's so cool because he's like, the thing about David that I always liked is if you see him interact with the president of the club, or you see him interact with the kit man, like the guy that basically cleans up the locker room, he's the same guy with both those dudes. He treats everybody the same. He's got tons of time for everybody, and he's a good guy. And he's like, that's what I noticed. And I'm like, what a cool thing to have anybody say about you. But that's Zinedine Zidane. He is God. And it's all like, yeah, I played with this guy, David Beckham. He was pretty doggone good. But let me tell you what kind of guy he was. Like, God, I love it. Anyway, that's about the only movie I've watched lately. But on the subject of soccer, okay. 2 weeks ago, speaking of David Beckham, this is a heck of a transition, actually. 2 weeks ago, my guys, our guys, these guys went to Miami, and they played against Inter, and we've had a bit of difficulty this year coming across goals. And it's not really scoring that's been the problem. It's been like build-up. It's been anything that looks like attacking. It's just been missing. We went to Miami and went forward and went forward and went forward and looked really good and looked just nice and aggressive and very precise, and it was really good. And we got one, but we just couldn't get that second one through a combination of sometimes, shots are just a little bit wide. But to be totally fair, Inter's goalkeeper really showed up. He had about 4 saves that were just really good. So it stinks for us because they got 2, and it's like if we'd at least gotten a draw, I'd have been okay with it. But I was really stung by not getting anything. But their keeper was so good, that's what happened. Apparently, the boys packed all that up, all that frustration from a week ago, and took it out on Chicago this week. Because I'm telling you, if you haven't seen any United highlights this year, that's okay. But Atlanta United, Chicago Fire, from just this past weekend, they were absolutely lethal. It was so awesome, man. It looked like the old school teams that just cut you to pieces. It was amazing. It's been a long time since I've had that much fun watching United play, but god dang. I got this buddy named Will, he told me recently that he's going to be going to his first game. I am so hoping that was it, because if that was his first game, he's gonna have season tickets for the rest of his life, man. Because they just went buck wild crazy. It was awesome.
Cool.
Yeah, buddy. It's been obviously it's been a long time since we talked, but I've been very lucky lately. I can't believe that guy got FTR Briscoes uploaded. It's great. Yeah. Quality's great, and just put it up, and it's like, God, thank you, man.
It's like, watch some of those uploads like that. You got to watch it, and you can just kind of tell, like, why is this off? And then they'll go by something. You see it, oh, it's reversed.
Yeah. So
the reverse negative or something.
Yeah, that one. I mean, it was when I watched it. It was HD, man. That thing was looking looks sweet. There's a couple of glitches in it, but I don't care. That didn't bother me, man. So it's like, oh my god.
I can live with that.
Yeah, and it's literally a couple. So once you see the second one, you're done. You'll see the rest of it.
Yeah.
I'll tell you this. I don't think it will surprise you. I don't mean to ruin it, but the Briscoes performing the big rig, pretty damn good. I mean, there's really nothing those guys can't do, but that shit looks awesome. And then the Briscoes performing the big rig is very impressive. Mark Briscoe taking and selling the big rig, bumping for the big rig. He did a good job, man. Because a lot of times that move just looks like crap because people just fall, and it's a bummer because it's a cool move, but sometimes it's not there. But Mark got it there. He landed. It looked awesome, man.
That's tight.
Hell yeah, it was great.
Good to hear. That's that good stuff, man.
Yeah, man. I'm sorry, that might be about it. I don't know if I got anything else, man.
Man, and a whole lot more going on that note in the world.
I guess the one last story I will talk about is the Kentucky Derby. Man, did you hear that story?
Man, I heard some interesting stuff about it. Watching the NASCAR race today.
Yeah.
And there was I guess a group of guys that was just kind of there doing the Saturday race. And Michael Waltrip, of all people, was like, hey, man, look at that number 21. It's got Wood Brothers colors. Man, something about it. I like it. And then, of course, he took the number 3 horse because Dale Earnhardt. And if he would have put a bet on those horses, he would have had 1 and 2 and $70-something thousand or whatever it was. But and as he's telling the story, one of the guys was like, "Yeah, I talked to a guy in Kentucky. He said that guy has no idea what he's talking about. The number 21 horse was just put in.
Yeah.
And it's not going to happen for him.
Yeah.
So, just pick the numbers you like and colors."
That's what I do. I always go with horse number 4 because that's I'm with you. That's exactly what I would do. But I just couldn't believe it. It was like a pre-race day scratch. That's what gets you in the field. You enter, I think it was 80-1, and you freaking win it. I mean, that's crazy. Especially, you watch the entire thing. The Kentucky Derby is kind of a big deal at my house. My mom loves it. So, it's for Mother's Day. We watch it. It's great. I mean, it's just wild because, of course, he's the last one to load. He's the furthest from the rail, and that sucker starts coming, and it's like, no way. No way. You've got to be kidding. This dude is going to win this thing, and he did. I can't believe it. It was shockingly cool. So cool.
Yeah. Man, that's good stuff.
Sorry that Michael Waltrip didn't put money on him.
I told you. Oh, son of a bitch.
Boogity, I lost a lot of money, boys.
I think they were wagering like bags of peanuts and crap like that. Like you had 70,000 bags of peanuts, I
got my pet elephant. I can keep alive now.
Oh man.
We decided at work that we were going to start like doing backroom chores like a pit crew, including like making bales, and that's my whole thing. Is like I just like to yell out, "Boogity, boogity, boogity! Let's make a bale, boys!" It's stupid, but it makes me happy, so I do it.
Get down with it.
Yeah, I'll tell you nothing that makes me happy. This is so stupid, but you know how it is. We've done this many times to each other and in each other's company. A lot of times we'll just make stuff up like on the fly, and why not have it stick? So I started telling the people at work. I don't remember what song it was now, but a Faith Hill song played at work. And so I just decided in the middle of the song to go, "Oh my God, it's Faith!" And then I explained to them that when I was I think 18, right out of high school, 18 years old, I had signed a deal with Curb Records to be part of Faith Hill's like street team to like promote her and put her over. So in my contract, it says that if every time I hear one of her songs publicly, I go out of my way to say, "Oh my God, it's Faith," they'll send me a check. And I'm, can bullshit anybody with anything. So I say all this crap with a straight face. And so now, to this day, anytime one of her songs comes on, I have to stop what I'm doing and go, "Oh my God!" And they all get it. Because, God, he's a fucking idiot. It's like, yeah, I appreciate that. But the point I was making was that it's
I
got
put
this
ink to
hallmark
paper on that
stories.
deal.
Hey man, look, I get $7 checks from Curb Records every time I say it. But that was the thing. It's like I'm telling that story, and it's like, okay, what do you get paid for that? And this first number that came to mind, I'm like $7 because it just adds to the ridiculousness. But I love stories like that because they are so dumb, and to be blunt, so unfunny. Why would anybody make that up?
Yeah.
I wonder if that's real. It's so stupid. It's so stupid. No one would waste their time making it. It's not funny either. God, I wonder if he's really getting a check from Curb Records for $7. It's like, yes.
Why would he do that?
Hey, man, I do it for the money.
How could you prove that? I don't know.
Look, I got a whole bunch of canceled checks from Truist Bank and Curb Records.
I suggest you don't worry about that.
Listen, I'm just telling you something, man. Look, all I can tell you is this. Since 1998 up until yesterday, I have $56 whole from Curb Records. I have $56 worth of canceled checks from Curb Records.
You think it's a coincidence? Just breathe came on. No, I made that happen.
I'm right here. The people at Curb Records are always watching. They need to know. They need to know, and they need you to know that's fate. So that's what I'm here for.
By God.
Anymore. I've got one of my tag team partners at work, who's actually leaving work, and I don't mean to get off on that because the thing is, I've got two of my favorite people at work. One is done, and the other is leaving. And
Anytime anybody leaves, I'm just like on to bigger and better. Hopefully.
But see, that's the positive thing. I'm just being a jerk about it because they're my buddies. But yeah, both of them are. It's such a better situation that they're moving into. So you're totally, totally right. And that's like when I'm not being a selfish prick. That's where I'm at. But I'm being selfish right now. But it's just Ellie and Mira. If you guys see this, I will miss you. Just so you know. And interestingly enough, actually, I don't think you can see it. Little Eiffel Tower picture up there. Underneath it, there is this little. Actually, I'll grab it real quick and show it to you.
Okay.
Shoot, sorry, y'all. I got my legs all tied up. My legs. Because the shelf behind me is my Paris shelf, and because these people are wonderful, they were out just shopping and looking at cool stuff, and they came across this. And because I obsess over the city of Paris, they bought this for me because they are incredibly nice. See, they're the ones leaving, and they give me the going away gift because they're awesome. That's all. I love it. It's just awesome. So that's, excuse me, that's Ellie and Ezra, and I will miss them. And anyway, sorry to get off on that, but thank you for letting me vent, man.
All right, man. That's what I'm talking about.
That's how we do it. Y'all, thank you for watching. Sorry it's been so long. My Sunday schedule stinks, but anytime we can do them this late, that's great.
Yeah, that's all good, man.
Yeah.
I'll see y'all.
Take care, y'all.